Avatar: The Last Airbender is pretty good. A couple of weeks ago, one of my friends introduced me to the Avatar TV show. I haven't finished the entire show yet. I've only finished season 1 and it really grew on me. Even though I'd never seen the show before, I had low expectations for it because I knew it was a kid's show. My expectations were so low that I didn't even take notes while I was watching during book 1 because I never thought I would make a video about a kid's show. And here I am, making a video about a kid's show. In this video, I'll only be talking about book 1, so this is your spoiler warning. If you haven't seen book 1 yet, go watch it and then come back to this video. Also, I've never reviewed a TV show before, so I'll be changing the structure a little bit. Instead of talking about 3 main points about a movie, I'll be talking about the 3 main parts of a TV show: the characters, the story, and the production. I'll explain the new format as I go through the video, so sit tight and let's begin. Main part number 1, the characters. So in this part, I'll be talking about the characters of the show and whether they serve their purpose in it. Let's start with Avatar. Wait, what? He has a name? I thought his name was Avatar. Sorry. Let's start with Aang. Aang's character is a masterpiece. I mean, really, think about it. If you were a 12-year-old kid and you were frozen in ice, and thus completely unaware of the global conflict occurring around you, wouldn't this be your first response?
Will you go penguin sledding with me?
And the development he goes through is insane. He went from oblivious kid to monk preteen by the end of this season. Instead of mourning the loss of basically his entire life, he tries not to think about it, which is exactly what a kid would do. Also, Aang's temper was so controlled it really frightened me. I was just wondering when he would burst, and when his master was killed by Fire Nation troops, I got scared.
Oh man. Let's get out of here.
Aang is so cheerful and optimistic that it really sells the concept of him being the Avatar, because he's literally a beacon of hope. Also, I know it's season 1, but I really love it when I see a flashback from Aang. Any moment where they're exploring his past is really well done. Katara is also a great character. She's powerful enough to be a side character. She's very brave and fearless, and I can see how little girls look up to her. Unlike someone. There's an episode where she felt bad for getting an earthbender in jail, so without a single doubt, she arrests herself to free him.
Haru's mother said they came for him at midnight.
Then it's too late to track him. He's long gone.
We don't need to track him. The Fire Nation is going to take me right to Haru.
And why would they do that?
Because they're going to arrest me for earthbending.
Tell me that isn't a brave move. I don't really ship Aang and Katara because of the age gap, but maybe seasons 2 and 3 will change my mind. I really don't like Sokka. The audience is supposed to put themselves in his shoes, but he is always whining and complaining about everything. I can't even begin to count how many times he whines about everything. I can't believe the other characters just tolerate him. And yeah, he proves his worth a few times, but it's nothing important. Regardless of Sokka's consistent whining, I enjoy watching these characters talk to each other on their journey. But as the saying goes, the heroes are only as good as the villains. So let's talk about Prince Zuko and General Iroh. I don't really like General Iroh. He's basically the mentor figure to Prince Zuko, but he's always oblivious to Zuko's issues. So far in book 1, he comes across as sloppy and lazy. However, due to personal trauma, he treats Zuko like a son, and I really respect that. Speaking of Prince Zuko, I didn't like him at first either. What can I say? He's arrogant, he's whiny, he's privileged. But later in the season, we learned that he was exiled and he's trying to go back to the Fire Nation. This would have made his character more compelling for me if he was exiled for a good reason. As the story goes, he was exiled for speaking out of turn. Are you kidding me?
The Earth Kingdom defenses are concentrated here, so I am recommending the 41st Division.
But the 41st is entirely new recruits. How do you expect them to defeat a powerful Earth Kingdom battalion?
I don't. What better to use as bait than fresh meat?
You can't sacrifice an entire division like that. Those soldiers love and defend our nation. How can you betray them?
First of all, people do that in school all the time, and no one's getting expelled. Second of all, he's right. The generals are throwing young lives away unnecessarily. But I do like how they added this inner conflict because it makes him seem like less of an evil person and more like someone who just wants to get back to their old life. He's not interested in killing people or fighting for the glory of the Fire Nation, and that makes his story interesting to watch. And speaking of story, it's time to talk about main part number 2, the story. One thing I have to mention is that the pacing of this show is good for the most part. It was really cool to see Aang and Zuko develop at the same time. The directors chose to go back and forth between the two, and the dynamic makes it so that when they finally meet in the middle of the show, it feels more like a crossover between the two characters' arcs. But on the other hand, this show had way too many filler episodes. The point of filler episodes is to allow the audience to take a break from the main plot. However, this show has too much filler and the characters take way too long to get around. The purpose of this season is for Aang to master waterbending. However, he doesn't arrive at the Northern Water Tribe until the 18th episode. With 2 episodes left in the season, Aang and Katara are supposed to master waterbending. And with a sprinkle of plot convenience, Katara becomes a waterbending master, and she teaches Aang off-screen how to waterbend. If that isn't the dumbest crap you've ever heard, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not saying I want the whole season to be about Aang training, but they could have had Aang arrive at the Water Tribe by episode 15, have him spend a couple episodes on learning waterbending while trying to fit into the Water Tribe, and then have the Fire Nation attack the tribe. I know he's supposed to be all-powerful, but this is just ridiculous. There are so many episodes the writers could have cut out to make his powers more believable. Anyways, as I mentioned earlier, I like that Zuko was pushed aside at the end because with his inner conflict, he can't be the main villain. So this is where the terrible Admiral Zhao steps in. He's a great villain with one simple motivation: recognition. Even though his motives are clear, the Fire Nation's motives haven't been explained yet. Why is Fire Lord Ozai trying to conquer the world? See, in Star Wars, we knew that Palpatine wanted to control everything because he believed the Jedi were wrong in their ways. But in Avatar, the 4 nations lived in harmony until the Fire Nation attacked. Did they attack because they felt like it? Were they trying to flex their power? Did someone lose a bet? I'm aware that this is a nitpick and it's not really a big deal, but I just wanted to mention it. I also want to mention that every twist in this show really got me. It may be just me, but I think that it's really cool that this show can keep throwing unique and interesting twists at the audience. It makes for an enjoyable experience. Okay, this video is getting a little long, so let's talk about main part number 3, the production. This section in the video will involve all of the show making aspects such as camera work, lighting, audio production, color grading, etc. Now, I'm aware that this show was made 15 years ago, but that doesn't mean everything gets a pass. Let's talk about the bad things. There's not that many, don't worry. First of all, the line delivery in this show is on a whole nother level.
Okay, you've gone from weird to freakish, Katara.
You mean I did that?
Yep. Congratulations.
Most of the time, the actors talk in a video game voice, and sometimes it takes away from the tone of the scene. Also, the animation is a bit crappy at times. Like whenever the camera zooms out, the characters just have no face. And finally, I don't like that no one dies in this show. There's only one death, and it's Admiral Zhao. And it's pretty brutal.
Take my hand!
When I saw this, it just proved that the directors were holding back because it was a kids show. Dave Filoni didn't try to push the kids show boundaries with this show as much as he did with Clone Wars, and it really disappoints me. And that's all I have for the bad stuff, so let's end this video on a good note. Before this show, I've only heard of anime style cartoons and I hated it. However, this show managed to open my third eye and adapted the anime art style to Western television really well, and overall the anime wasn't too distracting. That doesn't mean I'd watch more anime, but I applaud the show for trying something new. Also, aside from the line delivery, the main cast's voice actors were well cast, except Zuko. He has a lisp. Also, you guys already know that I'm a sucker for great dialogue, and this show hasn't disappointed me yet. There were some great emotional scenes where the kid protagonists have adult-like conversations, and it really surprised me. This show isn't perfect, but it definitely exceeded my expectations, and I'm very excited to watch books 2 and 3. According to my friend, it only gets better from here, so I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the subscribe button. Also, leave a comment below and tell me what you think. Please don't spoil season 2 or 3 for me. I'll try to post my next video soon. It's gonna be a wizarding tale of epic proportions. That's your hint for the next video. See you later.